Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to use icons in slicers. So what do I mean by that? Let's say for example we have a slicer here. So basically a slicer is another way or a tool that you can use to filter a table. So say for example I can filter a table. By default I can filter a table by clicking on the drop downs here, and I can select my values here. Right, these two have drop downs where I can select my values, or we can create a slicer, and that can do basically the same thing as these drop downs, but they're a little more user friendly. So I can go ahead and select maybe three stars, and the one with 3 stars shows up. I can even multi-select, press control. Maybe I want to see the 1, 2, and 3 stars. So press the control key, click on that, and click on that, and you'll just have the 1, 2, and 3 stars show up here. So how can this be applied? Let's go to an example here. And we have a table. This is from Wikipedia. This is a table that lists the countries with the amount of restaurants that have the different stars, Michelin stars. So, and it goes from 1 star to 3 stars, with 3 stars being like the top-notch restaurants. And so in this instance, I have a table here, and I have my slicer here. Incidentally, slicers for tables were first introduced in Excel 2013. But we had slicer capabilities that were available for pivot tables earlier than Excel 2013. But starting with Excel 2013, we had the slicer capability for tables. So this is a table. When you click on it, we have our table tools and our designs. Incidentally, if you're not familiar with tables, basically you select a range of cells, and you go to insert. You insert a table. That's grayed out because it's already a table. And what a table does is it gives you extra features such as the drop downs and other things. But this is not a video about tables. It's a video about creating icons in your slicers. So getting back to the icons, let's say for example I would just want to show the countries that had the 3-star Michelin 3 stars. So if I click on that, you can notice now I have my countries here, and the amount of restaurants that they have 3 stars. You can see Japan has 32 restaurants that have Michelin 3-star ratings, and that's quite a bit. And so if I just wanted to look at 2 stars, I can click on that, and it'll show the list of countries and their respective amount of restaurants. So how do we create something like this? Let me go ahead and show you in our demo tab. Now let's say I have my demo tab here, and I've got my country column, the Michelin stars, and these are numeric values, and the amount of restaurants. So basically what I need to do is I need to get my icons. And so to get your icons, there's a couple ways to do that. I'm in the insert tab. You can insert a symbol. If I click on that, you've got different symbols here. Or you can go to your Wingdings font. If I go ahead and click on that and go on the Wingdings font, let's say I click on that and I type something, it gives me some characters or some icons. But the way that I like to do it is using the character map. Let me go ahead and just change this back to Calibri. Now the character map is an application within Windows. You can go ahead and search for it. Let me go ahead and bring it up. So to bring up the character map, we have to go to the Start button. So let's go ahead and check out how we bring it up. So let's go to the Start button down here. Click on that, and I just have to type in character, and just type in the first couple letters for a character map, and you can notice it kind of shows up here. I'll go ahead and click it, and this is what the character map looks like. And so what I want to do is I want to find the star. So I usually like to select Unicode fonts. So Arrow usually has a Unicode font. So if you click the drop down, you have a wide selection to choose from. For the most part, you can try to find some Unicode font. I'm going to go with Arial Unicode MS, and usually that's good enough. They have pretty much a large family of different icons. So if I scroll down, let's say I try to find that star icon. Let's see. It's actually pretty far down, I believe. Maybe it's not that far down. Let me go ahead and click a couple scrolls here, and we'll see if we can find our star icon. Let's see. We have a couple characters here, and we're getting pretty close. I think it's near this area. And if I click one more, we can see we've got our star icon here. Now, incidentally, you can also let me go and click this one. You can also look at the character. So if we want to find it next time, you can just think about 2606. So what I'm going to do is select that. I'm going to go ahead and select that one, and then copy. I can go ahead and close this now, and I can just put it in here. So after I copied it, it puts it on the clipboard. I can go ahead and paste it now, and it pasted that star there, that icon there. So now I can use this star icon and just create another table similar to this table, and use a VLOOKUP to match it to these stars. So I'll go ahead and create a table that matches the number with the number of stars. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'll just call this rating, and then we'll call this stars, and then rating, that'd be 1, 2, and 3. And for the stars, I'll go ahead and just take a copy of that. Select that, Control C to copy, go over here, go ahead and Control V to paste one time, and go over to the next cell here, and I'm going to go Control V twice. And then for here, I'll just do it 3 times. Control V 3 times. So then I have my little table here. I'll go ahead and just turn it into a table. And as I mentioned before, we have our range of cells here, but I can go ahead and also turn it into a table by clicking Insert and Table. It just kind of makes it a little bit more easier to work with. In this case, maybe not so, but tables usually make it a little easier to work with. I have my drop downs automatically selected with a table, but I don't really need it in this table. I'm going to be using it in my slicer. So we have our table here. Let me go ahead and do a lookup to look up the number 1 from here, or to look up the number here and bring back the appropriate star. I'm going to go ahead and just delete this one. I don't need it anymore since I copied it over. So I'm going to go ahead and type stars here. Oops. And then I'm going to do a lookup. So the lookup, basically, it's going to be a VLOOKUP form. So we're going to create our VLOOKUP, type equals VLOOK. I'll go ahead and tab that's completed, or to kind of complete the VLOOKUP here, and just open up the parentheses. The lookup value is going to be that, comma, and the table. So the table array, as I mentioned before, I can select the table from J4 to K6, or let's see, K7. I'll say that was K7. Or I can go ahead and type the table name. So if I type the first couple letters, TAB, you can notice that now the table names show up, and this was table 3. So I'll go ahead and double click that. And basically, it's selected the values here in table 3 now, so that's kind of nice. And what I want to do for the column index is, based on the lookup value in table 3, I want to bring back the second column. So it only has 2 columns, the first column here, the second column here. So I want to bring back the second column. And then comma, the range lookup, I want that to be an exact match. I'll go ahead and just double click that, and close parentheses and press enter. And you'll notice now 3 stars, the number 3 equates to 3 stars because it's looking up the number 3 here and bringing back 3 stars. So I can click that. I can click the fill handle, double click the fill handle down here, and it's going to copy that formula all the way down. So I'll go ahead and double click the fill handle, and now you notice it's copied it all the way down. So we have number 2 here, it gives me 2 stars. Now the other thing I need to do is turn this into a table. So the same way that I did here, I can turn this into a table. I can go and insert and click on the table, or I can use the keyboard shortcut Control T. And that's going to bring up this create table window, the same thing as earlier. My table has headers. We can have our first row, our headers. Go ahead and click OK. Now it's turned it into a table. And now since it's a table, I can use the slicer feature. So I have my table, it's turned it into a table. Now I have this contextual menu show up, and under the tools group, there's this insert slicer icon. So I'll go ahead and click on that. You'll notice that the slicer options are the header field. So country, we have country header, Michelin stars, that one. So what I want is the stars one. So I'll go ahead and click on that, click OK, and now we have our stars slicer. I'm going to go ahead and just make that a little bit smaller. And so if we don't want to show anything else, we can want it to hide some columns, so we want to show those. I can go ahead and click on that column, right click, and click hide, and then right click this and click hide. And let's go ahead and move this over here. And let's go ahead and hide this. Usually you can put this into another tab, or you can put this kind of far off to the side. I'm just going to go ahead and hide this too, to just not clutter things up for this video. Let me go ahead and select that and go ahead and click hide, and so that disappears. So the nice thing about this now is we have our slicers, which are icons instead. So if I wanted to select all 3-star restaurants, I click on that, and all the 3-star restaurants show up. Now you can also do it here. You know, if we didn't unhide that column where it had stars, we can also have done it there with the drop downs. But some folks are not really familiar with the drop down capabilities. of the table, and maybe having a slicer makes it a little bit more easier. At least it's a little more visually appealing and it's a little more intuitive. You have these buttons to click. And if you want to have people just focus on the buttons here, what you can do is you can turn off these drop downs. So if I click on the table, I go into design, and under the table style options, I click deselect that filter button, the drop downs disappear, and now I can just use the icons here in the slicer for my filtering. So if I just wanted 2-star restaurants, I have that there. If I wanted to remove the filtering, I can just click on this icon. It clears the filter. Everything else shows up again. So this is the way that you can use icons for your slicers instead of just text or numbers. It kind of gives it a little bit more of a visual appeal, makes it look kind of more snazzy. And for some, it makes the filtering a bit easier to do. So I hope that helps. Thanks for watching.